Palace have had a slow start to the season. And this past weekend, I decided to pop down with my morning coffee to watch Palace versus Newcastle, and oh my god. I can see why they have one of the worst goals for in the league. It was a tough watch. So for me, it was clear. Crystal Palace, you guys definitely need a rebuild. So as we take over at Selhurst Park, this is the default starting 11. But for me, I think we're best rolling with a 4-2-2-2 formation. And yes, I know they spent the big bucks on Eddie Nketiah throughout the summer, but he is not living up to expectations. He has not scored a goal for Crystal Palace at the time of recording, which is why I think we should go right out straight away and get somebody that can. One of the most in-form strikers in Europe at the moment, looking for his big Premier League move. Omar Mamouche, the Egyptian striker, joining us from Frankfurt. The Premier League is a cutthroat league. We need to be cutthroat if we want to survive relegation with Palace. We bring him across from Frankfurt for 32 mil. And when it comes to departures, there are absolutely a few players that I want to cash in on. Jeffrey Schlupp is one of those, heading to Getafe, 1.7 mil. Jefferson Lerma heading to West Ham United for 14.5 million pounds. I really want to lean into Adam Wharton, only 1 overall less, but 9 years younger. I think having him and Doucouré as the defensive midfielders will work out wonderfully. Chardy Riyad, the Moroccan defender, heading on loan to Villarreal, and one of the best wonder kids at Crystal Palace has got his loan move. 2 years to Feyenoord for the Brazilian Franca. I'm excited to see how he comes back. I got one eye on the future though, and long term, I don't think that the Colombian defender Munoz is going to be my starter at the right back role, so I'm getting his succession plan in movement now. Signing the Belgian defender Maxime de Kuiper from Club Bruges. We did pay 13 million pounds to the Belgian outfit. He is a left back, so I'm going to start converting him to a right back, but I am going to throw him up on the loan list, see if we can get a move for him, and hopefully have him as the starting right back next season. And there we go, we get it over the line. I'm annoyed because I saw it pop up as I was simulating through the day saying we had the option to convert him to a right back, but it only took 2 weeks, so I can do that next year. But De Kuiper is heading to Villarreal on a season-long loan. So that is the opening window in the books here at Crystal Palace. Keeping things pretty simple, we just know we need more goals. And I'm hoping when we get to the 1st of January that we are not going to be in the relegation battle. But if we are, still got about 25 million pounds in our back pocket to do something. So I didn't think this Crystal Palace team deserved to be in the relegation zone. But 9th place here on the 1st of January, I am happy with that. I mean, Brentford down in 14th on 19 points. We're 7 points ahead of them. But we're also 9 points behind Man United in 7th. So it's going to take a big effort either way to get ourselves either up into the European spots or down back into the relegation battle. And I don't necessarily feel the need to rock the boat when it comes to the starting 11. So what I have decided to do is invest in our backup stocks, invest again into the youth of the squad by picking up Daniel Felipe Ruiz. Never used this guy in a rebuild before, but he could be an absolute stud. Signing him from the Colombian League, from Millonarios. Left midfielder, 76 overall, 23 years of age. But I do want to use him for his secondary position of an attacking midfielder, which is going to take just 4 weeks to convert him to. We will be losing Nathaniel Klein on a free transfer next season as well, though, to Rangers, which I'm not too bothered about. I could not have asked for a better start to life at Selhurst Park. We finish 6th in the Premier League here. 6th. Palace fans would be on their hands and knees begging for that right now. 67 goals, 64 points. We finished 6th in the Premier League. Arsenal win the league. And the thing that I really like is we separated ourselves from Man United, Brighton, Spurs. We really got out of that middle pack comfortably. It's not like there was 1 point between us and 14th. We were comfortable. Relegation zone, we'll see Ipswich, Forest, and Wolves heading down. Arsenal win the FA Cup. An early exit for us to Burnley, which I'm okay with. Aston Villa win the Carabao Cup, and we lost in the 3rd round there as well to West Brom. Real Madrid win the Champions League, Roma the Europa League, and Real Betis win the Conference League. I am so curious. I think we're going to be Europa League, potentially Conference League. Whatever it is, I am so excited to see how we perform. But I am even more excited to see Omar Mamouche getting himself 27 goals this season. We needed somebody to bag the goals. Clearly, Nketiah and Mateta weren't going to be those guys. But Omar Mamouche, 27 goals in his first year at Crystal Palace. Maxime de Kuiper up to a 79 overall, which I love to see. Gonna bring him back next year, convert him to a right back, and give him that starting role. Gonna be saying goodbye to a significant amount of players at the end of the year, though. Matt Turner and Chalobah heading back to their parent clubs. Nathaniel Klein to Rangers. Ward, Rodney, Marsh, and Matthews, I'm letting them all walk on free transfers. Season 1 defied all of my expectations though. Let's see if we can push the envelope even further in Season 2. So in this universe we're in, this transfer makes sense because, alright, Joshua Zirkzee not doing the job at Manchester United, and we finish above Manchester United in the table. So technically, this is a step up for the Dutchman. But with the Europa League or European football coming up, I want us firing on all cylinders. I do not want any second season syndrome. So Joshua Zirkzee is joining us from Manchester United for 32 mil. And to confirm, we are in the Europa League. But I want to sell a lot of players in this window to get a lot of money in and make our starting 11 absolutely bulletproof. I tried to sell Sarr last year, couldn't get it over the line, but now we sell him to Wolves for 11.5 mil. Just didn't make sense keeping him around when we're not playing a formation that involves left wingers, right wingers. As expected, we have sold Munoz. I want De Kuiper to be the starting right back. So we've sold him to Atletico Madrid for 20 mil. I know Mateta is a fan favorite here at Crystal Palace, but I couldn't say no to this type of money. Well, we've sent Raksai on loan, but this is the Mateta deal to Chelsea for 18.5 mil. I was not joking when I said I was cashing in on as many players as possible. I want a big upgrade at the attacking midfield role. Kamada heading to PSG. And altogether, that gives us £100 million to work with. And I'm spending 38 million of those to bring in the upgrade on Kamada, a brand new attacking midfielder. I absolutely fear for Premier League defenses this season. Eze gets himself a new attacking midfield partner. It is the Ukrainian Sudakov from Shakhtar Donetsk. He is going to join us for 38 mil, as previously mentioned. The loan moves continue though. Malcolm Ebiowe heading to Cardiff City. Like I said, this attack, I genuinely don't think we need to touch this front four for the rest of the rebuild. These guys, just as long as they deliver, they're going to be scary. All of my eyes this season are on the defense. We need some growth from these guys. Curious as to how much Henderson has left in him in terms of growth. But if we can go on a run in the Europa League, that would be absolutely brilliant. I actually cannot believe that we're in Season 2 and I'm already thinking about Champions League qualification. So we're sitting 10th right now in the Premier League. Not all doom and gloom though. We're actually in a stronger possession than we were last year. 3 points gets us up to 7th. A nice little run could get us into the Champions League. I mean, we overcame a 9-point deficit last year. Have to overcome a 10-point one this year. Still 2 games to go in the Europa League phases, but we are currently undefeated. And if we can get some wins here, it looks like we're a good chance of automatically going into the round of 16. But out of our entire back line, Dean Henderson is the only one not growing. We have enough money where I don't have to sell him. I'm very happy to keep him as a backup goalkeeper. But I think it's time for us to splash the rest of our budget on a superstar goalkeeper. So for the first time this year, we're going to sign a man that I consider to be one of the most reliable young goalkeepers in career mode for the past half a decade. It is the Frenchman, Lucas Chevalier. Huge money for a keeper, but we're signing him from Lille for 45 mil. Trading one red, white, and blue for another. I'm pumped, man. As far as I'm concerned, that is the goalkeeper position sorted. All right, boys, we're going to have to hope that we did the job in the Europa League because we have finished 9th in the Premier League. Granted, this is probably where I expected us to be after 2 seasons, but we've kind of been sold a facade after how well we started last year. 9th in the Premier League with Palace, 56 points, and it's going to be Liverpool winning the league comfortably. Meanwhile, in the relegation zone, Luton, Brentford, Burnley go down. Liverpool win the FA Cup. Birmingham City made the semi-final. Dude, we have done terrible in the Cup so far. Liverpool also win the Carabao Cup, so that's the domestic treble for them. We go out in the round of 16 to Man City there. The Champions League goes to Real Madrid. We ended up finishing, wow, that's actually really bad. We went undefeated in the Europa League, but we only got 2 wins. 2 wins, 6 draws. We finished 15th in the Europa League, which means we are going to the playoffs. In the playoffs, we demolished FC Midtjylland 6-1. Round of 16, we beat Stuttgart 3-2. The dream is alive. We could still be playing Champions League. Quarterfinals, we beat Malmo 6-2. we are into the semi-finals of the Europa League, where we lose to Benfica 3-1. Benfica Leverkusen final. We lost to the eventual champions. And Newcastle United ended up winning the Conference League. Yeah, our front two have absolutely crushed it this year. Omar Mamouche and Joshua Zirkzee getting 25 and 28 goals respectively. Eze with 30 goal contributions. This is interesting though. Daniel Felipe Ruiz off the bench has had more goals and goal contributions than Sudakov. Interesting. The Kuiper up to an 82, which I love to see. The Kure to an 83. Brilliant. Phillips doing some quality business off the bench too. In comparison to last year though, it's quite tame at the end of the year. Just letting one man go, Danny Imre. Coming into this third season, it was really a way up for me whether we upgrade on Tyrick Mitchell or Lacroix. And I've decided to go for the first option, the left back role, upgrading on Tyrick Mitchell here, signing one of the most handsome men in football, Riccardo Calafiori, the Italian, can't get starting game time in this save at Arsenal, so we're bringing him to South London. Riccardo Calafiori joins us from the Gunners for 32 mil. It's all happening here on the departure front though. Will Hughes heading to Coventry for 3.5 mil. David Ozzo heading on loan to Luton, and another loan move, Riyadh again off on loan to Frankfurt. 2 years at Fiorentina for Matthias Franca, and one of the veterans of the squad, Rob Holding, no longer a Palace man, in search of more game time as he joins up with Middlesbrough. We definitely need some backup in a lot of areas of the squad though. Defensive midfield, I'm going to go for two guys. First one is Salis Abdul Samad, and the second will be Josh Eccles from Coventry City. I almost might have been better off just doing a straight swap for him and Will Hughes. And then we needed a backup option to Maxim de Kuiper at the right back role, so I've hit up Thomas Frank and recently relegated Brentford, and we get our man. He moves from West London to South London, the Dane Mads Roslev. We have no distractions this year. Zero distractions, which means we have zero excuses not to make the Champions League. I want us competing for a Champions League title in season 4. Again, big pressure on the back line. Lacroix, De Kuiper, Calafiori, need you guys growing. Our bench is strong. I want a big season number 3. Huge season number 3 here for Palace. I take that back. We do have distractions. We are in the Conference League. It must have... I didn't realize getting 9th in the Premier League was going to get us into the Conference League. So there we go. I almost would rather that we weren't in the Conference League this year, because winning it doesn't even get us Champions League. Okay, if we can win the Conference League, perfect, cool, fine. But I would much rather finish in the top 4 and get grouped in the Conference League, to be totally honest. I was hoping we were going to find ourselves nestled in the top 4 here on the 1st of January, but we're only 4 points away. Crack on, second half of the season. We're coming for you, Man United. I mean, we are only 9 points off the title. That's probably wishful thinking, but we've only got one more loss than City. Come on! Did we? Oh my God. Okay, I think we lost 2 games. For a second there, I thought we went undefeated the entire second half of the season. I think we lost only 2 games, though, in the second half of the season. And we finished 2nd in the Premier League with Crystal Palace, 6 points behind City. We are heading to the Champions League next year. Relegation zone, we'll see Wolverhampton, Everton, Southampton heading down. Chelsea win the FA Cup. Unfortunately, we went out to Arsenal in the semis. But we do add our first trophy as Crystal Palace manager, winning the Carabao Cup over Chelsea. That is brilliant to see. So that would have got us at least some European qualification. Sporting are going to win the Champions League. All right, fair enough. Juventus win an all-Italian Europa League final. We finished undefeated in the Conference League phase. 6 wins, 0 draws, 0 losses. So we skip the playoffs, and in the round of 16, we go out to RC Lens. Really? We went undefeated in the league phases, but go out in the round of 16. That is absolutely brutal. Atalanta end up winning that. Holy okay, I need to check the Ballon d'Or next year. Joshua Zirkzee has just got himself 48 goals, 11 assists, 59 goal contributions. He is at 87 overall. Omar Mamouche has had a great year. Eze, great year. Sudakov, worried about his growth. Only staying at an 83. I thought he would have been for sure in the mid to high 80s by this point. Adam Wharton, though, I think we made the right call in Season 1 to sell Lerma and give him the starting role. And probably no surprise, but our strike force of Zirkzee and Marmoush are going to be the 2 strikers in the Premier League team of the season. But somehow Evan Nilsson got player of the season, yet he's a striker not in the team of the season. Make it make sense. Champions League bound, though, in Season 4. Bring it on. Last year we decided to bring in a left back. This year I've decided to go for the centre back. I was hoping that Maxime Lacroix would be ready. He would be 84, 85 overall. Not the case. 27 years of age, 82 overall. We need a superstar. Now, luckily, our budget is insane from getting into the Champions League, so making this signing doesn't even make a huge dent into it. The Spaniard, Daniel Vivian, is joining us here from West Ham United, 85 overall at 27 years of age. We are going to spend £40 million to bring him in, and that leaves us with just under £100 million in our transfer budget. And for me, it really is a question of whether we go for a new defensive midfielder or a new attacking midfielder. Something that I am going to decide in January. I'm going to give both Sudakov and Decore an opportunity. I'm more willing to get rid of Sudakov or at least upgrade him. Decore has really been moving along steadily, so we'll see how all of that is panning out halfway through the year. The big goal for this season, though, is winning the Champions League. As soon as we're involved in it, I want to be winning it. That's the whole point of the rebuilds. We've got, for the first time ever, I mean, already I look to the side and I see Barcelona. That is not a good start for us here. That is a tough start to life in the Champions League. September sees Dinamo Zagreb and Barcelona. October, we're back to Spain with Villarreal. November, we have FC Porto into Sociedad. We are not getting a favorable draw. Borussia Dortmund in December. And we round things out with Sparta Praha and PSV. This is going to be a really good test to see where we're at. Oh my God. Our boy Zirkzee does not get nominated for the Ballon d'Or. Vinicius, Mbappe, Haaland, and Foden. The same 4 as I feel it is every year in career mode. Zirkzee needs to win a Champions League title, it feels, to be nominated and score 600 goals. But here we are on the 1st of January. 10 points clear at the top of the Premier League table. This would take a monumental choke job for Crystal Palace not to be Premier League champions. Things are in the balance, but also looking pretty good in the Champions League. 2 games remaining there. But when it comes to the starting 11, Sudakov he's grown +1. He's getting starting game time, but he's not really performing. 0 goals, 2 assists. It's hard to tell through Decore because he's a defensive midfielder, but I honestly think I'm going to go in here and try upgrading the attacking midfield role. You know what? I say we bring back Olise. Get him and Eze firing together. He's done his apprenticeship, we'll say, at Bayern Munich. But the reunion is going to come forward. It would be quite nice. Crystal Palace now a Champions League side, Premier League leaders if Olise could come back and continue his journey at Selhurst Park. We sign Olise from Bayern Munich for £76 million. Of course, he is a right midfielder, but it's only going to take 2 weeks to convert him back to an attacking mid. But we end up with a win and a draw to round out the league phase of the Champions League. And unfortunately, that means we miss out on automatically going through to the last 16 on goal differential. We finish on 15 points. We're going to be in the playoffs, and there are some big teams in the playoffs as well. But it is a team that we faced in the league phases, Dinamo Zagreb. And I mean, this isn't a great omen. Our only loss in the league phases was at the hands of Dinamo Zagreb. So we're going to have to get our revenge there if we want to win the Champions League this year with Palace. So here goes nothing, fellas. The sun just started shining outside in here in Cincinnati, which has been very rare lately. I'm taking that as a good omen. Away in Croatia for the first leg against Zagreb. Got a lot of experience against them lately, and we absolutely dominate them, only getting a 1-goal advantage to take back to South London. Come on now, fellas, back at Selhurst Park. First time we have had knockout round Champions League football here. Can it be a strong start? Can we get ourselves through to the round of 16? Yes, we do. Another dominant victory, 3-1 on aggregate over Zagreb. It is quite ironic. Here in the round of 16, we're facing a club that automatically got through to the round of 16, and it is the team that finished 1 place ahead of us, Atletico Madrid. We got the same points as them. They just had a better goal difference. I want to get our revenge. I want to show that playing in the playoff kept us fresh, you know? Whether that turns out to be the case or not, I'm not so certain, but I'm excited to find out. Here we go against Atletico Madrid. First leg, 1-0 win. Omar Mamouche is going to give us the advantage. Come on, lads. Let's go back to the Spanish capital and get ourselves through to the quarters. 1-0 up. Heading into the belly of the beast, heading to Madrid. A little bit different of a challenge compared to Dinamo Zagreb. We've got Decore moving up to an 85. Will it be enough here for Palace? Yes, it will. Mamouche and Zirkzee, our two reliable lads up top. I'm actually feeling really good about this season. Bayer Leverkusen here in the Champions League quarterfinals. This is a pretty manageable Final Four, I must say. I would genuinely say that we would be one of the favorites at this point now. We just need to continue taking it one game at a time. Full strength starting 11, still on the park here. First leg at Selhurst Park against Leverkusen, and we are behind. Okay, Bia and Rooney score. We dominate, well not dominate, but we definitely had the better opportunities. But now we have to go to the Bayer Arena and get ourselves a victory. I absolutely think we can go in there and get a win. It's just a matter of whether we will. We need to make the most of our opportunities. We need to have a great game. De Kuiper up to an 88. Can we get ourselves from behind into the semi-finals? Oh my God! We send it to extra time. We got the win in regulation. Oh my God. 3-3. Rooney scores a goal there. And we go out in the quarterfinals, 5-4 on aggregate. The heartbreak of our Champions League exit subsides because we have won a Premier League title with Crystal Palace. We've done it really well. We have won 28 games this year, getting 88 points. That is a strong-ass season. We're back to the Champions League in Season 5 with a Premier League title in our cabinet. Some of the big dogs fallen down. Man United down to 13th. Leeds, Ipswich, and Sheffield United get relegated. We also add an FA Cup to our trophy cabinet. This has been a lucrative video. I was hoping we would win the Carabao Cup though and complete the domestic treble. That goes to Manchester United. We didn't even come close to defending our title. We lose to Leicester. That's embarrassing. That does make me feel a little bit better though. Every comp we've been in, we've lost to the eventual champions. Chelsea win the Europa League and Lens win the Conference League. Not as good a year as they had last year, but still, that's going to be hard to replicate. Joshua Zirkzee, 32 goals, 9 assists. Mamouche, 29 and 7. Eze, Mr. Consistent himself, and a solid, very solid, above solid second half of the year for Elise. Excited to see what he can do with a full year under his belt next year. Just one man moving. I tried to sell him on a permanent deal, but we couldn't make it happen. Caleb Pora is walking on a free. Huge signing. I'm hoping this is the final piece to the puzzle. Decore has been an absolute stud, but we need that next step if we're going to win ourselves a Champions League. It is the Frenchman, Aurelien Tchouameni, joining us from Real Madrid. We're going to sign him for £76 million, 88 overall, 28 years of age, nearing the prime of his career. And we have so much money that we can just keep improving the squad. There are a few additions I want to make every year. Not too many players that we need to sell. Why not keep a good depth of players? The latest addition comes at the backup striker role. Playing down in the championship with Leeds United, Moise Keane joining us for £36.5 million, 83 overall. This team is just unbelievable. The team is cooked, man. Majority of our side, besides our two centre-backs, are 89 or 88 rated. That is a rare position to be in. Our bench is unbelievably deep. Our reserves unbelievably deep. If I don't win the Champions League this year, then the Pope isn't Catholic. We start off our campaign trying to fend off a side that I'm sure wants revenge. Atletico Madrid. September continues against Red Bull Salzburg. Then we face Juventus in October. Roma in November, along with Dinamo Zagreb, another club that probably wants revenge. December we have Marseille. In January we have Lille and Red Bull Leipzig. This is not an easy path back to the knockout rounds. Last year, we had nobody nominated. This year, our two strikers, Zirkzee and Mamouche, are both nominated for the Ballon d'Or. There is a 50% chance that a Crystal Palace striker is going to win the Ballon d'Or. Please, lads, please. Show me the cutscene. Oh, we don't get the cutscene. Yep, which means Kylian Mbappe has won the Ballon d'Or. 50% chance of us winning it, and it's not our guy. Our Premier League title defense is going well. Currently tied with Chelsea at the top of the Premier League table, 44 points. I think it's the same amount of points we were on this time last year. We've just got a lot more competition this time around. But we have done even better in the Champions League. No worries about goal difference and getting into the playoffs this year. We are the only undefeated team in the entire Champions League. First place. We skipped the playoffs, and I'm hoping they can give us a pretty decent run. Not even a single draw. We only conceded 3 goals. No, we are actually different. Skipping the playoffs, we're right into the round of 16, and we're facing Celtic. Celtic, of course, are a juggernaut in Scottish football, but when it comes to European football and the other 15 teams remaining, I would probably say we've drawn the best chance scenario. Now I'm just hopeful that they don't make me eat my humble pie. We head up to Glasgow, heading to Celtic Park for the first leg against the boys, and we come away with a 3-1 victory to take back to Selhurst Park. Strong position to be in. We want to get ourselves back to the quarterfinals for the second straight year. At home, do not bottle it, fellas. We do not, we extend it, and we have no yellow cards or injuries, most importantly. 6-2 aggregate win over Celtic. But things are about to get turned up a notch, as you'd expect at this point. Quarterfinals, where we bowed out last year, we've got AC Milan. This team just continues to get stronger and stronger. People pushing up into the 90s now. We travel to the San Siro for the first leg against Milan. Oh my God, we're behind again. We are behind again for the second straight year. It's the exact same scenario we had against Leverkusen. That's our first loss in the Champions League all year. Last year, we were able to force extra time. I'm hoping we can do the same. We've put ourselves in a terrible position. Get ourselves through. We do it on penalties. Yes. Eze was the hero. Eze was the hero. 1-0 in regulation. It goes to penalties. We go 3-0, and we are heading to the semi-finals. That is a huge comeback. There's a juggernaut awaiting us, though, over either Bayern Munich, Real Madrid, or Leverkusen. And, well, I wanted a revenge against Leverkusen. That's not going to happen because we've drawn Real Madrid. For the love of God and everything holy, we need a strong first leg here. I do not want to be 1-0 down against a club like Real Madrid. We come away 2-2. I can live with that. I can live with that. Tchouaméni scores against his former side, but now we have to head to the Bernabeu and get ourselves something. A win gets us to a Champions League final. The equation is simple. Just win the goddamn game, Crystal Palace. Come on. Come on. It's on penalties. It is on penalties. For the second straight games, we finish it on penalties. We're heading to a Champions League final. I'm hoping we get Leverkusen. Leverkusen it is not. We're going to be facing Bayern Munich, the battle of the red, white, and blue. Just like us, Bayern Munich won on a penalty shootout. Taking a look around the grounds, the Yellow Submarine, Villarreal win the Europa League. Conference League goes to Valencia. We miss out by 3 points. We had 12 draws this year, and we miss out by 3 points on back-to-back Premier League titles. At least we're in the Champions League again next year. Scrolling down, Man United with another stinker. That's almost become second nature for them. We were able to win a Community Shield this year, though. Won that at the start of the year over Villa. We do not go back-to-back in the FA Cup. That goes to Arsenal. We went out to Tottenham in the semis, but we add another Carabao Cup to our trophy cabinet. So technically, if we win the Champions League tonight, we do some sort of a treble. Olise getting our goal. He gets 47 goal contributions. What a stud. He's surely going to be nominated for a Ballon d'Or next year. I wouldn't be surprised if all of these guys are nominated for the Ballon d'Ors next year. Somehow, I'm sure Mbappe would still find a way to win it. But here we go. Champions League final against Bayern Munich. Now, I will say, I'm a little nervous about this game, fellas. This is my first game of FC in a couple of weeks. I've been grinding away at the Imperialism content. So I've been playing a lot of FC, just a lot of simulating, not much actual gameplay. This will be interesting. I'm also a little nervous. It is like in the negatives temperature-wise right now. My hands are so cold. I'm hoping that I have the quick reflexes. Here we go. Musiala, nah. Can't let him get a shot off, man. Goes there. Arda scoops that one. Olise against his former club. We're going to go out wide. Nicely played there. Eze's got a bit of space in behind. Going back. Marmoush on the volley puts it wide. That should be 1-0. Eze skills his way through beautifully. I might just have to be selfish. Oh, follow up. We get the follow up. I was about to kick myself and be like, why was I selfish there? We get the follow up though, and Eze gives us the lead. Jonathan, oh, David's just done me. Jonathan David has just laid my ass down there. Holy hell, the Canadian has just made us pay. Oh my god, man. My game is completely frozen at halftime here. I'm trying to get into stuff. All this is working fine. Resume match and it just stays like this. Can I jump to tactical view? Oh, and nobody's out there. Oh, what will happen if I do jump to sim? This is not the way I want this to end. Well, I even tried to restart the game and now I can't even pause the damn menu. This is so annoying. I'm gonna have to restart the game, man. I've tried just about everything, lads, as you saw with that game. I'm so annoyed, but I'm gonna have to simulate this game. I hate simulating the final. I've never done it before, but there is something broken with the game, which I'm gonna do some research in post this. But if we bottle this now after having the 1-1 scoreline, we do not. It is a 2-1 victory here in the Champions League final over Bayern Munich. I apologize, fellas. Incredibly anticlimactic. Just always something new with this game, isn't it? But we do get the glory of Crystal Palace going through the streets of South London with that Champions League trophy on the bus. We have successfully rebuilt Crystal Palace and made them European champions. Lads, if you enjoyed today's rebuild, make sure you click here to subscribe and click here to check out another video.